very happy to have another young Indian with us today. She is someone after my own heart, doing a PhD in economics, a tough job always, but still she's smiling. Right now we have with us Angela Sarkar. Let's listen to her. Over to you, Angela.
I'm extremely grateful, sir, that you have invited me over and gave me a platform to speak with you. I'm Angela Sarkar. I'm a doctoral scholar at VGSOM IIT Kharagpur. I'm currently working at the intersection of gender and experimental economics as a part of my PhD thesis. Besides, I was fortunate enough to have been exposed to multiple development projects in my first and second year of PhD through my supervisor, Dr. Tutan Ahmed, and his team. These development projects included a large mini-scale census of around 200 villages of poorest districts in West Bengal, and another experiment, RCT, randomized control trials, focusing on transparent international migration of blue collar. So, this is what my current designation is. And prior to these, I have been trained in economics with a bachelor's and master's. My research journey actually started during my master's course, where I was pursuing urban economics as a part of my master's program. And eventually, I got interested in that area, and I further persuaded M.Phil in University of Hyderabad. So in that during that period of time, COVID had matlab, come to existence, and we had to pack our bag and we have to come back to our home. And that is where the I got a flavor of research, but in my heart, I felt that it was a bit incomplete because I was doing it from home. There was not full exposure, though I used to be in call and in discussion with my guide, uh, and the spark of research still remained in my heart. Uh, During that period of time, I got a flavor of how to conduct an empirical research, how to write a mini thesis, uh, because I wrote my MPhil dissertation. And I knew I want to be an academic. Then, uh, for my MPhil thesis, I have worked in affordability of urban housing, where we created an affordability ratio. We included it as an index for the pricing mechanism, and we saw how does it impact the urban housing prices. So now I will say I was also fortunate enough to secure a job during that period of time. Usually pandemic took away jobs, but God gifted me a job, and that too in academic as an assistant professor in one of the management colleges in West Bengal. There I taught economic courses for undergraduate college students. And yes, I got the flavor of research and teaching both. I got my assurance, yes, I have to be in academia. So after gaining a fair share of experience, I started my hit and trial, and I ended up in this wonderful institution in a great research team at Vinod Gupta School of Management, IIT Kharagpur. Now, I will say specifically in today's session, uh, I want to talk about few of the uh, things a PhD scholar, especially an incoming PhD scholar, should be aware of uh, when she is or he is in the first or second year of PhD. So what happened recently, even my guide and we discussed it, that there is a lucrative fellowship that is given by government, and with the recent hike, it's a substantial amount. So many of the students, postmasters, what they are end up doing, they end up getting enrolled in doctoral program without realizing their end goals. Now, it is very essential as a PhD scholar, you have to know your end goal. Like, do you want to be a teaching college facilitator, or do you want to be a good researcher? If you want to be a good researcher, then you should aim for good ranking NIRF colleges like the IIMs or IITs or any good central universities and even few of the private universities, I would say. But if you want to be a teaching facilitator in a college or just an assistant professor and you want it as a degree, your priority should be a bit different. So this part I understood very well after coming over here, and that is one of a very important thing you should be keeping in mind. Now, next is once you have decided you want to go for a PhD or you want to be in research, do a research internship or become a research associate in any research institution, or probably the best if you can work under a professor. You work under that professor and he can be your potential supervisor. So what happens in this process, you get a sense of what is research and the work process. So in the first initial phases you will be in a little bit boredom. It is not that flashy IT jobs or corporate culture, you know. You have to be in a room, you sort to and or have to become bored, and then you fall in love with your research, in the research question you are pursuing. So if you get an essence in the first hand as a research intern or a research associate or research assistant is very good. Now, in India, what I have found, this is usually not the way how many of the incoming research scholars work. Say they do actually jump from masters to doctoral studies directly, qualify net and all. But if that is also a case, another thing you should be doing during coursework, during the first phase, first year of PhD, is good you do your coursework, but try to be doing some kind of research in the first year. So this is a learning I have learned from my own, experience. My sir actually advised me to go onto some, research projects, but that time I didn't understand its importance. So, learning from my own experience, I have realized that it's very essential that you start working with your potential research team. You visit the lab, you work for 2, 3 days, you understand how is the working environment and how is the working style of your research team. It will give you a vivid idea. It will also help you understand the potential research areas. So these are the two things that you should be keeping in mind. Now, the third thing I will say, so I usually don't know what happens in other universities, but usually, especially in India, uh, that you are required to give a research, seminar or registration in 1.5 year or within 2 years, where you have to give your proposed research topic. The main area should remain same at least. So here, so even ending up to that, it's it requires quite a good amount of your effort and time, and that should be a good planned work. So what can we do? Like during coursework, start reading on potential research areas. Don't just get focused in coursework. It's only I was also advised, but I, I wish I would have learned, but yeah, better late than never. Now, what happens? Another, so the next important, very important.
We had an internet glitch and we are back now. And Angela will continue with her views on how to do a PhD. So go ahead, Angela.
So, such glitches do happen in PhD journey also. and we should just get going without being so looking deep into that. So yes, I was talking about the next very important step, that is to understand your area of research, your area of interest, and your probable research topic. So it usually works in two ways. Either your guide can recommend you a topic which has a lot of future scope, and or you can
Mm.
choose your own area of interest. In my case, I was fortunate enough to have a common area with my sir, that is on gender economics. And so I will proceed with this example how it works. So once you know your area, what you are interested, start reading, read, start from a basic book. So I started with a book on gender economics by Mukesh Eswaram, where he has explained the various dimensions of gender and what role gender plays in economics, right from behavioral aspect of risk preferences, personality traits, to skills, family dimensions, everything. So pick up a book like that, go through the topics, and there something will interest you. For example, there is family dynamics, patriarchy, that plays a huge role in decision making of a woman. So that's the topic that was close to my heart. So I started reading on that. And whatever you read, make Excel entries, store what kind of data is there, and then future scope, methodologies, and start discussing with your supervisor. Meet your supervisor, show him a write-up. That's a better way. Even one page will be better. And during this discussion, your supervisor might suggest you some whole literature review paper of or seminal papers. Like in gender economics, there are in Claudia Golden or Shelley Ludenberg. They are very famous in international domain. So once you read through their literature review, recent ones, you can get an idea what is the future scope. So something like this. And also what happens, since our supervisors or we ourselves at later stage, we keep on reading, we will get to see what kind of methodologies are being adopted. And if that methodology is repeated in good quality journals, in top FT50 journals, then you have to understand that is trending and you need to update your skills to learn those methodologies. So these are the few things, next steps I will say. So, what happens here? There is pros and cons of our new generation. Unlike in your previous, just sir said, the previous era before this chat GPT was introduced or even Google Scholar existed, there was no, there you cannot do much literature review because you have to run around in library and all of that. But now what happens, there is a lot of literature available, and with chat gpt you get systematic literature review and all of that. This is a very good pro, but there is also a con, as I was also victim of that. You get lot of information and there is information overload. So you have to, after 2 to 3 months of reading, you have to be very sure what do you want to do. So in that way, a literature review paper or seminar papers might help you a lot. And that is the case. Now, another thing I will also say, that in all of that, start following some good blogs on your probable research topic by good research institution, or start following up blogs run by uh, famous authors of papers. Prior to that, you need to also identify few of eminent scholars from international domain and national domain in your area. I will give an example. Just I have already mentioned in international domain, we have Goldin, we have Peter Kuhn, we have then Shelley Dudenberg, and there are many. And in India, we have Ashwini Deshpande, Kanika Mahajan, Farzana Afridi, among few of them whom I usually follow. So what happened when I started reading and following their Google Scholars notification or kind of work they are doing? They usually have personal websites. They usually run blogs. For example, in Ashoka University, SEDA, they you get subscription to Woman and Work newsletter. So get subscription of such kind of newsletters where you get an idea what is happening around and what are the focus areas. So there are three things you need to be doing over this point of time. Follow five to seven authors. Get notified on Google Scholar. Number two, follow them on LinkedIn or get your connections well in LinkedIn. You will get to know what are the research grants are coming, what kind of research is going on. And once you see the kind of topics they are asking or giving grants for, that has a huge future scope in the next 3 4 years. So that is an way you can also understand what's going to work. Number three, again, try to get subscription of few of the research newsletters. For example, one I said this SEDA's Woman and Work, and then you have IIWP, that is from Lead University. So this way you can get an idea what is working and
Mm.
how can you proceed to your research topic. So I have mostly talked about gender economics because that is my area of research. Um, but you have to identify your own area, your interest, and all of that. And next, once you know a broad scope, talk and discuss, give a write-up. If you have a good research team, trustworthy people, discuss your ideas.
Mhm.
And yes, that's what I have learned in my first 2 years after I have completed my first 2 years of PhD. And also during this period of time, if it is possible to get any research internship or work as an RA in any extra project or but related to your area, do so. It will help you a lot because in the later stage you cannot do that. But in the initial stages, it
Okay.
will broaden your scope.
Okay.
So that is my tips and tricks.
Well, that's very good. But you have to make it a bit more personal. How did you get into economics?
Okay, so I
Go
got
back
into
to your old days long ago.
okay, economics. So I will say I belong to Bharampur, Murshidabad. It's a small town in West Bengal. Um, I used to be somewhere okay in maths, good enough, and that is how the sentiments of families work. They have put me in science in class 11th and 12th. And being a student in in a small town, if a student secures good enough marks, she is expected to study science, be an engineer or doctor. But I never had interest in biology. I skipped that subject in class 11 and 12. And somehow I like to only physics and maths. That's it. And nothing more than that. No chemistry. I used to forget chemistry, organic chemistry and everything. It never made any sense. But so I decided to pursue maths, and by a fluke, I decided to apply for economics also because I saw the syllabus and I saw there is mathematical economics, there is statistics
Yes.
in the first year, and some mathematical derivation is also there. The typical macro, micro first year courses of
Yeah.
undergraduate BSc. So I liked that, and I got into a good college in Calcutta University. So I got into that, and post that, I always loved economics. I will say my orientation for research actually initiated in University of Hyderabad.
Okay.
There you are you have a less orientation towards mathematical modeling, at least in my main master's course, if you are not doing financial economics, of course, and you get to learn about classical political economy, this gender economics, then economics of discrimination and caste. And there were wonderful professors who taught us this, from research papers and discussed with us. And the whole environment over there was so political, and it will motivate you. They are not a capitalist type of environment in University of Hyderabad. So that really helped me and my orientation over there for research. And I never wanted to be in this IT, so I didn't actually pursue career over there. Might be I can join industry post my PhD to get some experience, but yes, I know I enjoy here in academia. So this
And,
is how
and
I
how,
ended up.
most people, when they hear IIT, they don't think economics. Okay. So
Okay.
does it feel to be an economist in a tech institution?
Okay. So on the funnier side, I will say here everything starts with tech. So you have tech market, you have technology guest house, you have tech this and that. But so we have Department of Humanities and Social Science. So there two or three groups usually exist. Though I am from management department, um, so you have computational economics where you do the mathematical modeling and hardcore programming part.
Mm.
Then there are a set of thoughts and professors who look into this labor economics and economics of discrimination.
Yeah.
However, yes. So I will say qualitative research here is not much like welcomed if you're not doing something excellent. Obviously it always depends on your guide and the way you are conducting a research. If something new comes up, it is always welcome, but usually I have seen they are more fond of empirical methods, and what I have found, unlike in my previous institution. But yeah, you get an edge because you will be knowing some kind of data analysis once you pass out from here. So that is an advantage, I will say, nowadays.
Okay.
So
So you're comfortable in a tech institution.
yes, sorry, because mostly what happens, it again depends on your guide. If he is interested in your interest also, you can always pursue your supervisor. That's not a problem. But if your interest lies in computational part, here it's a boon. Like you will get a help from everyone in and around the corner, from
Oh,
BTech student, from MTech students, from all the departments. But if you want to do some good qualitative research, that creates a bit hurdle because what happens, you won't find many asking hands or asking.
yeah.
You have to do it on your own unless
Yeah.
you have like. So that's the thing. So
Okay.
now it's big data's time, so it is
Yeah.
helpful, I will say. Also, I will say what happened. One of our seniors, she is doing a research on decision making. Now, she wanted to create a website and get it implemented and see what are the customer experiences on that. It was very easy for her to create that website because of many BTech students. So that website is part of their own research project for undergraduate or
Mm.
graduate course, master's course, and
Mm.
that becomes so. This networking part helps.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Thank you so much for all this. Anything else you want to add here?
Yes, I will say what I have understood. Yeah, the journey can be a bit difficult, but looking at my seniors, I've understood it requires time and patience, but it's a life-changing one and a worthwhile one.
Okay.
Hopefully, it will be helpful.
All right.
Thank you so much, sir, for your invitation.
Okay,
It was
great.
wonderful.
Okay, let's end it here today. I'll be back with another young person or an expert soon. She'll soon be an expert, but right now she's still not an expert because only 2 years of PhD. All right, I'll be back with somebody. Bye till then, everybody.